have a portion in Christ that is far bigger than you. That is far bigger than what you can think, than what you can phantom. God has a portion for you that is to turn you to a global figure, not a local champion. David said, "Oh God, you are my portion in the land of the living." Psalms 142 and verse number 5. Psalms 142 verse number 5. He said, "For you are my portion in the land of the living." You have a portion in Christ, not with him, in Christ. Because it is only those who are in Christ that are new creatures, not those that are with Christ. Your portion is in Christ, not with Christ. He is my portion in the land of the living. My portion is in him. Is in him. And that's why you must strive to dwell in him, to be able to partake of your portion. For if any man be in Christ, if any man be in Christ, not with Christ, your portion is only deliverable to you when you are in Christ, not with Christ. The challenge of Christians is that they are not in Christ, but they are with Christ. For as many as accepted Jesus, those set of people, he gave them something, a portion, a power to become what he has created them to be. John 1:12. For as many as accepted him into themselves, he gave them power to become. So until you are in him and he in you, not with you, your portion will be far. Your portion will be far. Paul was explaining to the Colossian church. He was speaking to the Colossian church this mystery in Colossians 3 and verse number 2 and 3. Colossians 3. Set your affection on things above, not on things on the earth. Verse 3. For ye are dead, and your life is hid with Christ in God. In other words, now that Christ is in you and you are in him, the both of you must be in God to access your portion. It's going to be a bit difficult for people to understand. When you are with Christ, he does not own you. Then when you are in Christ, he owns you. And until he owns you, he does not make available your portion to you. Christians never know this. Christians never know this. Do you know the reason why? That anybody cannot come from anywhere, walk up to the rich man and say, I have a portion of inheritance in you. No matter how rich a man is, you don't have the right to walk up to him and say to him, I have a portion of inheritance in you. Until you are from him, you don't have an inheritance with him. Inheritances are for those who are from him. I don't understand. When a man gives birth to a child, that child came from him. That child is not with him. I asked the Lord, I said, how do I explain this? How? I tried to understand it. I tried to think about it so that I should be able to tell you in a few minutes, and then I will pray with you. When a man gives birth to a child, that child has a portion of inheritance in him, because the child is from him, not with him. If you live with your parents, you are not living with them. You are there because you are from them. And because you are from them, they can make available for you inheritances of their portions. So many Christians are with God, they are not in God. And because they are not in him, they can't access the portion of their inheritances. I commend you to God and to the word of his grace, which is able to build you up and to give you an inheritance. The reason why, Acts 20:32, the reason why we come to God is because we are from him, not with him. He gave birth to you. For whosoever is in Christ is a new creature. Whosoever is in Christ, in God, is a new creature. All things have been passed away, all things have become new. That is what we call the regeneration. That is what we call the spiritual rebirth. Until Christ owns you, he does not make available to you what rightfully belongs to you. You will struggle to have them, and you won't be able to have them. We are in Christ to access our portion. I was studying my Bible, and I saw in Luke chapter 15 verse number 11, 12 and 13. Luke 15, 11, 12 and 13. The Bible said Jesus came and told them a parable of two sons. He said there are two sons. So one day, verse 12, the younger one went to his. If you are with him, he is not your father. But if you are in him, because you are from him, you can place demand on your right. We are talking about right. Many people place demand on him while they are not in him. When you come to church, it does not mean that you are in him. You can be with him because the church is his house. You can be with him and he will never be in you. And because it's not in you, you cannot demand your right, and it will be freely given to you. Look at how this boy went to the father. The Bible said the younger son went to his father. He was exercising ownership and dominion over his father. Why? Because he is from him. He is from him. So he placed demand on the father because he is from him. And the father had no option than to release it, because the boy is from him. If you have a child, this is my daughter, this is Neno, she's my daughter. When I married my wife, we didn't see any of our children now. It was only I and her. Is somebody here with me now? Suddenly in our house, we began to see children. And then I began to wonder, where are these children from? And the Lord answered me, they are from me, because they were in me. That now makes them to be entitled to me. They can place demand on anything they need. As long as I am under obligation to give them. Now, in fact, there is a law coming up, or that law is already on ground. Child Rights Act. That Child Rights Act says, he said every child is entitled to education. Every child is entitled to go to school. Why? Because they are from you. You are under obligation to sponsor them, whether you like it or not. That's why people borrow to pay school fees, because the child have a right from them, because they are in them, and now they are in they are now in them. You know, you give birth to them, they stay with you, and then they place demand for what they want, and then you make provision because they are from you. Listen to me, something need to change. There is a level of revelation that the church need to have. As you are seated here watching me, you have a portion in Christ. David said, my portion in the land of the living. In fact, he said something in Matthew 11:28. He said, come unto me, all of you whom are labored and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. In other words, the moment you come unto me, come and climb my head and become me, and then you will have rest for your life. Although you were going through pain, the reason why many children of God are going through pains is that they are not in Christ. They are only with Christ.